Okay, what's going on, everybody? We're gonna get ready to get this show started. I know some of y'all are, trying to file on in, and we're gonna get this show on the road. And we got, we had some breaking news from yesterday that we're gonna get into, and what this could mean for the rest of the wide receiver core that is in the building. So we're definitely gonna talk about that, and we're definitely going to talk about that and a whole lot more. So we're definitely going to talk about that. And also the rookies are getting ready to report as well. And so we're definitely going to talk about that too. We're definitely going to talk about that as well. So definitely come on in and let's talk about it. And let's get right into it. So we're going to get ready to get this show started in just a few moments. And so make sure y'all share the show out to everybody. As y'all see on the graphic, we have a new Titans wide receiver, Tyler Boyd. What could this mean for Traylon Burks and others in the wide receiver room? And so we're going to talk about that and a lot more right here on TNT tonight. Let's get ready in the next 60 seconds.
Hope you can still go. I never ran, should've known, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter and
Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everything?
What's going on, Titan Nation? How's everybody doing? Welcome in to TNT tonight. I am your host, Blue Enforcer, aka The Truth, and we're gonna have a very fun episode for you on tonight. And definitely gonna do my best not to hold you long. Also, of course, if you are in the Tennessee area, especially mainly West or North Tennessee, definitely be safe and be careful because, of course, there are some severe storms that are headed in our direction. There's some severe storms heading here in Memphis, but also heading up in Dyersburg, Jackson, and also towards Nashville as well. So everybody, please be safe. Please be safe. Please, definitely make sure you charge up all your phones, your mobile devices, and everything, and then make sure you have your safe spaces and things like that, because it could get a little bad. Hopefully it does not. So definitely, sending out that alert to everybody, especially, like here in Memphis, in Nashville, Dyersburg, Jackson, anywhere up I-40. Definitely make sure, and anywhere in Clarksville as well. And maybe northern Missouri and southern Missouri and Kentucky as well. So definitely make sure everybody stays safe and everything. So just thought I'd put that out there for everybody. So everybody, welcome into the show. Glad everybody could be with us on this evening. And obviously we have the missus of the show. My current meteorologist, who I know is following every possible weather channel and story there is when it has something to do with weather here, at least in our area. So we know that is gonna be the case. So definitely shout out to Sunshine Lavender, the missus. Definitely gotta do that. CJ2K says Burks is gone. I mean, we're definitely going to see if that is the case when it comes to that. And also, of course, while we're at it, definitely make sure everybody go ahead and like the show. Go ahead and put a like on that on the like button. Go ahead and smash that like button if you're on YouTube. Also, if you're watching via Twitter, go ahead and give a like on that and retweet the show out as well to everybody. Send that out to your friends and send that out to everybody in Titan Nation under hashtag Titans, under hashtag Tighten Up. And definitely make sure you do that so that way everybody in Titan Nation know what's going on. And if you are new to the channel or haven't done this yet, come on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so that you can get and hit all so you can get all the notifications whenever I go live. Definitely go ahead and do that so that way if something's going on, I will definitely you will definitely be in the know. And then also, of course, check out Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. Definitely make sure you check those out as well. And I'm glad that everybody is with us here. But CJ2K Poe. Okay, Ian Fuente. Okay, change the name. Okay, CJ2K Poe. All right, well, definitely. I appreciate that. You know, prayers for y'all in Tennessee. I'm in Houston. We just had bad storm too. Yeah, you know what? I have heard a lot recently about the storms, you know, in Texas and in Houston. Ian, my prayers to you and everybody down there in Texas as well. I know y'all got some major flooding. Definitely had a lot of rain. I want to say like a month full of storm, you know, a month full of rain in the last couple of days. So definitely pray for everybody down there in Texas. Burks was extremely unlucky. I mean, I will probably agree with that a little bit. Burks was never a Titan. Missed more games than anything. We got Titan True up in here. What's up? And Amar, big Titan in the building. You know I'm here. I'm always here. Absolutely. But let's get into the breaking news that we were, you know, alluding to. And that is that the Tennessee Titans just signed former Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Tyler Boyd. And it is a one-year deal up to $4.5 million. And so obviously there are some incentives there and things like that. But I definitely, when I originally first heard this, I thought it was an excellent pickup. I thought they were going to get the deal done. I thought they were actually going to get the deal done, you know, before he had left. But then at the same time, what they also did, you know, they brought in Zay Jones from Jacksonville for a, you know, for a look as well. And, you know, maybe they were actually considering signing Zay Jones, of course. He's familiar with offensive coordinator Nick Holtz from his time in Jacksonville. But, you know, it could also have been a thing of, hey, Tyler, look, we need your decision. You gonna sign with us? Come on in. If not, we gonna go with Zay Jones. But in the end, we got Tyler Boyd, which I think was the better choice. He fits perfectly into what Brian Callahan has been asking about as far as a slot receiver, and he exactly fits that mold extremely well. And Over Chicken said, "What's up, TNT?" Jackie and Amar both saying, "Let Rand cook, chef." Boy Rand, who actually did an event, I believe, with Buck Rising last week, and he came out, he had the chef hat on and everything as well. So shout out to Rand, you know, definitely for doing that. But, you know, Tyler Boyd is a very interesting look, and these are some of his career stats that he had. You know, he spent the last 8 seasons, of course, ever since he was drafted with the Cincinnati Bengals, 513 career receptions, 6,000 receiving yards, 31 career touchdowns, career average of 11.7 yards per catch. And of course, last season for the Bengals, had 67 catches, 667 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, I was listening to Caroline Willie and D Mace a little bit yesterday, and even though Derek Mason was a fan of the signing, he did have a little bit of a concern. And when it comes to wide receivers, there are a couple of people I tend to defer to when it comes to that. Teron Davenport, our guy TD, Chris Sanders, who is, forever Titans wide receiver, and another forever wide receiver of the Titans, Derek Mason. Those three guys, TD, a former wide receiver in college. Also, Chris Sanders and D Mace, of course, former Tennessee Titan wide receivers. So when it comes to the wide receiver room, I refer to those guys because they know what they're talking about. And the one thing that and Derek, thank you so much for the super chat, Derek. Super chats are definitely appreciated as well. Puts you to the front of the line. Derek says, "Is this a season of is this season a development year for us?" And that is a very good question, and I'm going to answer that in just a quick second. But 67 catches last year. Derek D-Base was like, yeah, he put up some good numbers, but Jamar Chase was hurt for a lot of the year, and T. Higgins had a little bit of an injury issue, and you're telling me you couldn't put up more numbers than that? And also, but also you got to take into account Joe Burrow was down too, but like he said, Cincinnati was still putting up some points even with Jake Browning. And I want to say at some point, I believe Brian Callahan was interested trying to see about bringing Jake Browning in to back up Will Levis. Of course, Jake Browning ended up going back to Cincinnati, and we, of course, got Mason Rudolph. So, it's very interesting that Boyd did not put up more numbers, but you got to think, he was a number 3. But also the last 5 games, didn't really end as well for him and everything. So, the numbers are the numbers, so there could be something there. Yeah, Drumstar. I did see that Tyreek Hill tweeted out saying Tennessee Titans wide receiver room is getting nasty, and I definitely agree. And CJ2K post saying, to be fair, Joe Burrow was out. And that's true. That is very, very true. We do have to take that into account. But at the same time, as D Mace was alluding to, Bengals were still putting up points even with Jake Browning in the game. And things like that. So there is something to say in regards to that. But at the end of the day, I absolutely love the pick. I really do. I love the pickup. I think it just solidifies him at a number 3. Even though it is an older wide receiver core, it is a very, very good one. As long as these guys stay healthy, this could be huge for the Tennessee Titans. And, again, and now I'm bringing up Derek Roberts' Super Chat one more time. Again, Super Chats are definitely appreciated. I appreciate that. It helps me, helps the channel, as I am trying to build towards the future and things like that. So, definitely appreciate the Super Chat. But as you said, is this season a developmental year for us? And that is a good question. Honestly, I would have to say it is a bit of a development year, but I really think it is more heading towards with the moves that they've made, picking, keeping D-Hop, not trading him, not releasing him, signing Calvin Ridley, getting Tyler Boyd, trading for L'Jarius Sneed, getting Chidobe Awuzie, and we still need help at safety as well. So we still need help at safety, either a Justice Simmons or a Marcus May. I don't think this is as big of a developmental year as people were originally thinking. because I think this is a year that I think the Tennessee Titans should, at minimum, be competing for the division title. I think they should be at least competing for the division. You know, I'm not saying that they're going to make the playoffs. And if they do, maybe they get one of those last wild card spots, maybe a 6th or 7th seed. But I think at least be competing for the division. I want to say. At least competing for the division. I at least expect, I want to say at least 9, get to 9, maybe 10 wins. And remember, it was kind of like what with Mike Mularkey. Mike Mularkey won 3 games, came in with a team that went 2-14 or 3-13. It is easier to go from 3 wins to 9 wins, but it is much harder to go from, say, 9 to 10 wins or 10 wins to 12 wins. Last year, the Titans were 6. Last year, the Titans finished 6 and 11. Finished 6 and 11. It is a little bit easier to go from 6 wins to maybe 9 wins. It is not as easy to go from 6 to maybe 10 or 11, but you could go from 6 to maybe 8 or 9. Again, I think they should at least get to 9 wins and compete for the playoffs or compete for the division title. That's at least what I think. I do think that they, definitely should be doing that. Now, Philip Maddox comes in and says, to me, Boyd's signing secures Burks' playing time because now the Titans have 4 similar receivers, which could be interchangeable, which won't tip off offensive packages. DCs will have a hard time game planning. That is actually a very interesting comment to kind of put, because now, Mike Keith even said it on a video that he put on Twitter that the Titans are going to be throwing more now. The Titans are going to be throwing more now. It's going to be a little less on the running game, a little bit more in the passing game. CJ Post thinking screen passes, and that could be something. And I agree. If everybody can stay healthy, they could be dangerous. Jaggy says, we're contenders this year. Bet on it. If this is successful from Stevie BOE, could change the game for veteran players versus paying the high for big names. We'll have to see. Either going young or going veteran. And so we're definitely going to talk about that. But also, on the other hand, inside of Tyler Boyd, that is the question. What does this mean, not only for Treylon Burks? I mean, we'll talk about Burks in particular, but this is sending a message not only to Treylon Burks, but to guys like Kyle Phillips, guys like Mason Kinsey, other guys like Kearis Jackson. Even, I would say, I'll even throw NWY in there. It just tells those guys, your spots are not safe by any means. Your spots are not safe. NWI was brought back on a 1-year deal. Kyle Phillips is still on his rookie deal as, he goes into, I believe, year 3. And so, Burks, Phillips, Kinsey, their spots are definitely not safe. NWI at least can give you something on special teams, being like a gunner. Being like a gunner, being on, kickoff, punt return, kickoff, return, punt return, punt team. He at least gives you that. Mason Kinsey maybe gives you a little bit of return game, but that's why you got Jaquan Jackson from Tulane. He could be a return guy. So unless Burks and Phillips can give you something else on special teams, their spot could be on the line. Definitely. And let's talk about Treylon Burks in particular, because, a lot of people thought, Before Calvin Ridley signed it, maybe Burks, if he could show something, he could be the number 2. Now that Ridley's in, he goes to number 3. He could be a possible number 3. Questions was, were the Titans going to draft a Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors? And the rumors were coming out, I believe, from Jeremy Fowler or it was from someone else. I know for a fact that there was a rumor that came out that if the Chargers, if Joe Alt, it was really Joe Alt, J.C. Latham, Malik Neighbors. And I believe Joe Alt was number 1. When the Chargers took Joe Alt, it was really those 3. Alt, Latham, Neighbors. If whoever was left on the board, that was the guy the Titans were going to pick. We don't know the particular order, but basically saying if the Chargers, the Chargers took Alt at 5, had Latham win at 6 to the Giants, Malik Neighbors was going to be the pick. And I think there were rumors that if Malik Neighbors was on the board at 7, even with Latham, that Malik Neighbors was going to be the pick at that time. So, looks like Latham was the 3rd choice. But when it comes to Burks, now that Burks and Boyd is signed, now Burks is the 4th guy. And it doesn't look fairly good for Treylon Burks. I mean, he's going into year 3. He's a 1st-round pick, which obviously, like Caleb Farley, they did not pick up his 5th-year option. I am pretty sure, barring a miracle season from Treylon Burks this upcoming season, I don't think they're going to pick up his 5th-year option either. But Burks, only in his first 2 years, has only been in 22 of a possible career 34 games, and has only had 49 career receptions, 665 career yards, only 1 touchdown. And that was against the Eagles, where he got knocked out with a concussion, and that hindered his rookie year. And averages only 13.6 yards a catch. Last year, only 16 catches, 221 yards in 11 games. Not good numbers. You take a look at Tyler Boyd, he had more numbers than that. He had way more numbers than that as a slot guy. Now, he did play all 17 games, but he had more numbers in 1 year than Burks had in 2. Not a good look, especially for a guy that's supposed to be a 1st-round pick, breakout guy. So, not exactly good for him on that. Now, the CJ2K Post says, what I hope will happen is Treylon will break out this season over anyone else on the roster, probably outside of Levis, because our core right now is really, really old, and we need him to break out. I mean, according to D-Hop, D-Hop don't feel old. He said he want to finish his career with the Tennessee Titans. Calvin Ridley, even though he's 29, said, look, I lost some time. I feel like I'm 25. And then you got Tyler Boyd. So you do have some older guys, but you got experienced guys. So again, they may be a little bit older, but that doesn't mean that they can't produce. So we're definitely going to see it. TJ Post saying Malik will be let go. What's going on? Not much value with him. We don't know. Right now, he's quarterback number 3. Rocky Boy says, I have us going 10-7. Jackie says, if the Texans can do it, we can do it. OC615 says, going from worst to first in the whole AFC with 12 wins. I'm serious. That's being overly optimistic. I like your confidence. I'm going 9-10 wins. I don't want to put my expectations too high. Over Chicken says, sports books have us over under 5.5 wins. Over under is 5.5. I would take the over. I'm going to take the over. I might put a bet on that. I think I might put a bet on that and take the over. I really would. I would take the over on that one. Yeah, Jaquan Jackson. Now, one thing I am concerned about that I've heard about, he has had some issues with muffing punts. So that could be a bit of a problem. I don't know how you think I don't know how people think we'll have a worse record than last season after we literally upgraded every single position. I mean, because you know the national media, they only care about the darlings, the Chiefs, you know, the Bengals, the Bills, the Cowboys, all those teams. You know they don't care for Tennessee. They don't watch. Jack the Ripper said, we got a squad. Derek Roberts says, is Burks better than Corey Davis yet? Honestly, that is, the jury is still out on that one. I would say no at the moment. King Isaac, what's up with you, sir? Jaquan Jackson could be our Tank Dell. Could be. I'm glad we got Latham. I wanted Olu instead, but I'm going to give Latham a chance. Over Chicken said, Neighbors is a star. Sad he went to the Giants. His career will be a waste. We'll definitely see, but I don't like his chance in New York. He'll be the main guy getting the ball. Only problem is they stink at quarterback. Titan Rossi in the building. What's up, Titan Rossi? Welcome in. Stevie BOE says last staff didn't develop anybody, and that is true. I'm not going to disagree. It's an arms race with the Texans. Yep. Traylon Burks' availability is better than Jamar Chase. That's something. Jamar, 60% of his game and out 40%. Traylon Burks has been available 60 and out 40. Production is another subject. And that's what I was about to get to, OC. You can't really compare the two with Jamar Chase and Traylon Burks. Even though Jamar Chase has had some injury issues, and I'm going to see if I can bring up Jamar Chase's stats. Jamar Chase has far outperformed Traylon Burks in every possible way. There are no questions about that. Jamar Chase, I mean, even with injuries, still had 100 receptions. Traylon Burks, that is more than double. He had double the catches and almost 3 times the yards in 1 year than Burks has had in 2. And so it is not fair to compare the two. And I'm going to even say this. He only played 16 games, 16 out of 17 games last year, had 100 catches. He played in 12 games in 2022, had 87 catches. So he really only had 1 year where he really missed a lot of time. And I want to say, so really in a possible 51 career games that Chase could have played, he's only missed 6 games. So really, honestly, that's a little bit incorrect as far as availability. Jamar Chase has been far more available than Traylon Burks has ever been. So, and you know what? That's a good question. Who would be the odd man out? Ian says, I believe Phillips may be. And I definitely agree. Phillips is definitely a guy that could be on the outside looking in. And so, you know, like I said, Phillips, Kinsey, NWI, they're not very safe right now. And Traylon Burks' time is going to be cut significantly down. Because again, you're going to have a whole lot of mouths to feed. There's only one football, and Will Levis is going to have to find a way to spread the ball to everybody. Trilogy Taylor says, give up on Burks. He's not it. I mean, I am getting close to that. You know, I'm willing to give him a final shot, but this is his last chance. This is Traylon Burks' last chance. Because if he doesn't produce now, He's done. So, see, Jack River says, I can see 10 wins. Lou Man says Pittsburgh wants Burks. I mean, it depends on what they're willing to give up. Anywhere between a third and a sixth might be good right now. If you can get a fourth for Burks, that would be awesome. Jaggy says, I hope we get Justin Simmons. We definitely got to address the safety position. Now, Over Chicken is correct on this. First-year head coach and a first-year DC, it might take them time. And that is correct. And the reason why I say this is because it really segues into another subject that we're going to talk about. The Titan rookies are going to report on Friday. So they're going to report and they're going to work out this weekend. Kind of get acclimated in Nashville to the facility and the practices that we're going to be doing. So they're going to be in rookie mini camp from the 10th through the 12th. That's this Friday up until Sunday. And then they're going to begin, I believe, a 7-week rookie development program starting on Monday the 13th. And so they're going to be starting that. And of course, on May 20th, they're going to be joining the veterans as OTAs begin. So you're going to have, those practices. And then, of course, you're going to have those practices with the veterans, which will lead up to, May 20th to 21st, May 23rd, and so on. You're going to have OTAs. And then you're going to have a little mini camp. And then you're going to have some mini camps in there. And then you're going to have the mandatory mini camp June 10th through the 13th. So, they're going to have practices up until, mandatory mini camp June 10th through the 13th. And then after June 13th, that's when all the players get time off. You better go on your vacations, enjoy your time with your families, because then in late July, going into late July, that's when, going into mid-late July, that's going to be time for training camp. And then we going to get down to business. So that's what we're looking at. And so J.C. Latham, Tavondre Sweat, and hopefully with conditioning for Latham and Sweat. Latham came in at like 342 pounds. Hopefully he can get down to maybe closer to 330. I wouldn't mind seeing him down to 330, maybe 325. Tavondre Sweat, I think, is at around 360. I think he needs to be getting down to about maybe 345. 345, 340. It'd be nice if he could get down to that point as time goes on. So, my little brother said, no, Jamar is better. That kind of goes without saying. Jack the River says, Burks and NWI could give D-Hop and Ridley a breather here and there. Keep him fresh, and he could dominate in that role. He could be a good role player. I mean, that would be disappointing, but I definitely could see that. Trilogy said, dang, Rookie's got to miss Mother's Day. Yeah, I mean, sad but true. Who's going to be our 1,000-yard receiver with so many weapons? I mean, in Brian Callahan's offense, Jamar Chase was a 1,000-yard receiver. Jamar Chase had 1,200 yards. Had 1,200 yards last season. Now T. Higgins dealt with some injuries. He dealt with some injuries. He had 656 yards last year, but he dealt with a lot of injury last year. But I mean, you had some times where in that Bengal offense that Chase had 1,000 yards, Higgins had 1,000 yards, and even Boyd either had 1,000 yards or was right there at like 900 yards. And so, in that Cincinnati offense, there were ways where all three had 1,000 yards receiving. So it is not impossible. Okay. Sorry about that. But it is not impossible. It is not impossible. Yes, there are a lot of weapons and a lot of mouths to feed. But, in that Cincinnati offense, it is possible. Because there was a year, I want to say it might have been 2021. It may have been 2021 or 2019 where, let's see. Actually, I want to say it was 2021 where all three of them had 1,000 yard seasons. For example, in 20, like I'm looking at Jamar Chase and T. Higgins stats, and I'm finna pull up Tyler Boyd's individual stats with Cincinnati. So, answer the question, it is possible. Like, now in 2019, he had 1,000 yards receiving. Okay, T. Higgins came in 2020. Yeah, T. Higgins came in 2020, and then Jamar Chase came in 2021. So let's start at 2021. 2021, T. Higgins had 1,091 yards. Jamar Chase, as a rookie, had 1,455 yards. So Jamar Chase had 1,455 yards. T. Higgins had right over 1,000 yards. And then Tyler Boyd was right there at 828. And he had 67 catches. 828 yards. So he was right there at the cusp of 1,000 yards. And there were two other receivers with 1,000 yards. He had 67 catches. T. Higgins had 74. And then Jamar Chase had 81. So obviously in the Bengals offense, they spread the ball around. So it is not impossible. Let's see. Stevie says, what do you think about Malik and Mason? I think Mason's going to be the backup. I think Malik's time is coming to an end. I do. And it is a shame. I honestly think that he did not get a fair shake. He did not, Malik did not get a fair shake at all. And it's unfortunate. But you got to be able to step up in the time that you were given. He did get some starts, and he just did not produce. But Jack Ripper says Ridley could be 1,000 yards. I think him and Hopkins could both have 1,000 yards. It is very possible. Philip says JC really weighed about 335, but his grill was an extra 10 pounds. Oh my God. Could have two 1,000-yard receivers. I agree. Spears, the baby cheetah, will have 1,000 all-purpose yards. That is very possible too. Parker Davis, do you see a world that a team trades a second for Burks that are desperate for a receiver? I'm going to say no. I think the earliest pick you might be able to get, I'm with CJ Post. I think it's a fourth, maybe a third. CJ 2K posters in my head. I think that's just being realistic. I would say the earliest is a fourth. Could be a late third, depending on who it is. And I agree. One of the earlier comments. It is going to take them time to gel. So do not be surprised if J.C. Latham at left tackle struggles early to adjust to going back to the left side. So he's got to adjust. Do not be shocked if there's a little bit of a struggle out of the beginning. So that's going to be, and then again, what Derek Robinson says, this is developmental year. I think we should be competing for the division, but at the same time, there's really not a lot of excuses for Will Levis. This is the year to find out. Will Levis has the next maybe 2 years to show, is he the guy? Can he be that quarterback? Because if he can, it's going to be good. If he shows this year he could be the guy, then next year you could really, if, D-Hop does not come back or Boyd does not come back, you could draft a receiver high and you could make some moves to really go for it. So that's going to be the key. It's really all about Will Levis. They are surrounding him with weapons. In the running game, you got Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard. Both guys can run the ball between the tackles. Also, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, right now, this is going to be the year to find out if Will Levis is the guy. It's going to be that. If he can't produce with this O-line and all these weapons, he's a bust. And that is true. This is the year to prove it. This is the year to prove it. And sorry about the sound, y'all. But this is going to be the first year he's really getting to prove it. And like I said, I'm glad they got a new head coach now because he's going into year 2. Now, he only got 4 years because he's a second-round pick. So you really got this year and next year before you got to make a decision before year 4 if you're going to give him the big money. So he really has 2 years, but this is going to be the start. This is where we're really going to start to find out if Will Levis can transition to being the guy. And that's what we're going to definitely find out. So, again, we talked about Tyler Boyd, now a member of the Tennessee Titans, what it means for the rest of the wide receivers in the room. The rookies are going to be reporting on Friday. And also just saw tentatively the NFL schedule release. Looks like it's going to be set for, I believe, next week. Actually, next Wednesday, to be exact, the 15th of May. That is a tentative date. So, may go live right when that schedule is released. So, when the schedule gets released, I may actually, we'll definitely do a show. As far as the schedule release, we'll definitely talk a little bit about that. So we definitely will have that coming up when the schedule gets released next week. CJ2K said we're dealing with all this because of John Robinson trading A.J. Brown, which I still think was a huge mistake. Callahan can develop Levis way better than Vrabel. Miss Amy really has made some tough choices, spent a lot of money, but this team is on a good trajectory. I agree with that because, again, that's what I think. I said it before. I said Mike Vrabel's arrogance could destroy this team. And I really do think that Mike Vrabel held this team back because he wanted to do it his way or the highway. He eventually ended up taking the highway. Yeah, it'll either be Wednesday or Thursday night, but I think it'll definitely be Wednesday night. Get a Thursday night game at most. Yeah. Hopefully we get more than one primetime game. Be nice if we did. So we're definitely going to find that out. But again, definitely everybody, if you're in the Tennessee area, Arkansas, be safe because I know there's a big storm on the way. So definitely be careful with that. Parker Dave says, do you feel better about the Latham pick? Not yet. Still, I need to see something. I'm not convinced yet. I want to see. I mean, I'm starting to sort of not feel as upset as I was, but I need proof in the pudding. I'm not going to convince myself just yet. He's got to prove it to me. Once he does that, then I might feel better. I got to see him on the field against other talent. So we're definitely going to find out about that. In other news, other sports news, got to give a congratulations to the fans, to WWE fans in France, Lyon, France, because the WWE had a premium live event called Backlash, and they were in France, in Lyon, not far from Paris. And when I tell you, that was one of the best crowds I have ever seen. It was incredible. It was incredible. I mean, they were into it the whole time. And, they were lit when a guy like Jey Uso came out and did this, and everybody had their phone with their lights on and doing that. I mean, the whole crowd was doing that. Every time there was a pinfall, ref go 1, 2, and then there's a kick out at 2. I don't know what the chant was, but they did it every time there was a 2 count. It would go, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba. I don't know what they were saying in French, but it was incredible. It was definitely awesome. And y'all follow Jack the Ripper. Hit that like button. Sweat was my favorite pick. I like the Sweat pick too, contrary to what some others might have thought. Jared said Latham has a good personality. I like the pick. I have high hopes. I just hope he's not another Isaiah Wilson. Because again, I have my worries. I know I shouldn't do this. But again, I don't trust Alabama offensive linemen. I don't. Just like I don't trust Georgia offensive linemen. Go back and watch your reaction. Probably with the Latham pick when I need to laugh. I understand. Everybody's going to enjoy that at my expense. I get it. So I don't mind that. I don't mind being the butt of a joke. I'll talk bad about myself a little bit. Yeah, I was a little bit crazy. So I'll definitely do that. But definitely that. Definitely try to pay attention to the hockey playoffs. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to the NBA playoffs. Probably part of it because the Grizzlies aren't in it. The Warriors are not in it. The Lakers are out, and things like that. I mean, mainly the team I would probably look at is Denver maybe. So we'll definitely have to see how that goes as far as the playoffs are concerned. Maybe I'll pay a little bit more attention to that. But before we do get out of here, though, even though I usually do this on the last Wednesday of the month, I got a special shut your pie hole. I do. And y'all gonna trip off of this because this could have been a whole different show. And that is, I would like to give a shut your pie hole to one man in particular. And the person that I'm going to refer to is a man by the name of Aubrey Graham. Aubrey Graham. Better known to the rest of the world as, of course, Drake. I need Drake to shut his pie hole because Kendrick Lamar has killed him verbally. Kendrick Lamar did not just kill him. He murdered him. He annihilated him. Drake can't come back from this. This dude dissed on Kendrick Lamar, and then Kendrick Lamar basically said, oh, you want to go there? Okay, I got you. I got you. And Kendrick Lamar has crushed Drake at every possible turn. The dude has come out with 3 or 4 diss tracks in the last week. He's come out with 4 diss tracks. I've listened to 2 of them. I've listened to Euphoria and Meet the Grams. And Meet the Grams, oh my God. Ooh. I'm like, I was ready to preach Drake's eulogy at that one. Kendrick Lamar went in on this dude's family, like all of them. He said, dear to his dad, dear to his mom, dear to his son, dear to his daughter that he doesn't claim. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, man, Kendrick Lamar. You could tell, like, this was coming from a real place of, I don't know if I want to call it hate, but it was definitely strong dislike. Probably was hate, but Kendrick Lamar has been holding this in, like, he's strategically playing it. This wasn't just something like an instant reaction. Like, he well thought out all the verses he put together. I mean, OC says Kendrick's beats are ass. I can't listen to it too many times. I will have to disagree with you on that one. Kendrick Lamar can flow. He got bars. Kendrick Lamar got bars. No doubt about it. And he killed Drake. He killed him. Like, this was worse than Remy Ma killing Nicki Minaj with Sheether. And after that, you rarely heard Nicki Minaj say anything else about Remy Ma after that. And Drake was basically, he tweeted out saying, we got to be less impatient and all this and that and, and everything. And then Kendrick Lamar is like, oh, really? You want some more? And he's like, I got plenty more where that came. I got plenty more. So, I mean, woo-wee. And see, Remy Ma's Sheether was lethal. But Kendrick Lamar? I was like, rest in peace, Drake. Because I just don't see how Drake can come back from that. And then, of course, there was a rumor of a drive-by shooting at Drake's house in Canada. So I'm like, ooh-wee, it's serious. It's really serious. Jackie said, is this beef a publicity stunt? No, I think this is real. This is real. I don't think this is no publicity stunt. Like, you don't go that hard in on a man's family if it was a publicity stunt. You know, if you talk a little bit, if you come out with one diss track about, if Kendrick Lamar came out with one diss track about Drake, that's one thing. But this dude that came out with 4 diss songs, with 3 or 4 diss songs in less than a week. And he not only talked about Kendrick Lamar, he talked about the man's family. So, OC said, wait a minute, I didn't say he got bars. The boy be snapping, but I can't get with his beat selection. Now, I have to go back, but I mean, I just go with the fact he do have bars. He got bars. You know, I have to go back and check the beat now. The Beat the Grab beats was a bit funny. We can't deny that. Philomatic says, on behalf of the Light Skin Coalition, we have traded the rights of Drake for Mexican offensive tackle and cash consideration. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yes. Yes. So, Drake, shut the pothole, take the loss, you know, go off into the sunset, quit your music career now. You and Nicki Minaj need to go live happily ever after somewhere and leave rapping to the professionals, because you are clearly not one. But everybody, that's going to just about do it for me tonight. Hopefully everybody, again, stays safe during the weather. Again, if you haven't, smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit all of the notifications on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter X, definitely retweet the show and give a like. If you're on LinkedIn, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm an aspiring broadcaster, sports broadcaster. You know, trying to make it in the business, so hire me. I could do a good job as a reporter, you know, sports reporter, or, you know, just a reporter, producer. I could do a good job. Give me a shot, y'all. But I thank everybody for tuning into the show tonight. I'm your man, Blue Enforcer, a.k.a. The Truth. Kiana says, us dark skins won. OC says, on behalf of the darkies, I select Chris Brown for his Quavo diss. Wow. Y'all tripping. I love this, y'all. But again, y'all, I thank everybody for tuning in. I know we had almost like 40 or more people tuning in. I definitely do appreciate that. I hope everybody has a very good rest and safe Wednesday and a good rest of the week. Also, happy early Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Definitely, I know Mother's Day is Sunday. Fellas, make sure y'all take care of your moms. I got to make sure I take care of my mom and my mom-in-law too. I got to make sure I do that and do my job right. So, of course, Chris Frazier, like he said about Corey Davis and like he said about Marcus Mariota, Burks is done. I wonder who he's going to say next after that. So, everybody, appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all have a very good rest of your Wednesday. I thank y'all for tuning into the show. And at the end of the day, y'all know what's up. Tighten up. Because that's all we know how to do. Good night. Sleep tight. Be safe. I got to go.